3SFX presents the Indoob podcast with your host, T. Sterling Watson.
Good morning, Indubians. I'm T. Sterling Watson.
And I'm Kortney.
This is the Indoob podcast, where drive time meets late night talk show as we aim to entertain, enlighten, and provide an auditory escape with knowledge and nonsense. Thank you for stopping by and pressing play. We're recording live from Little New Indubia on the corner of T'Chaka and MLK Drive in my little booth, which we almost just started talking about. And I'm here and I'm just going to continue the conversation, and then I'm going to ask how you are. But we were doing a little not online shopping, but she was at Walmart. I was at work, so she was texting me pictures of like my new desk that I will get maybe next week. So, because the desk that I'm using is like a fold out little tray table thing. It's kind of flimsy, but it does the job. It holds my laptop.
You gotta do what you gotta do for what for the time being.
Right. I mean, I'm not living it up big. There's nothing too fancy in here. I mean, I'm literally in a coat closet, and but I got it hooked up so it looks, fun and nice. And I believe you're in a closet too, right?
I am. We're both in the closet.
Right. Indeed, we are. With that said, how are you?
Good. It's a rainy fall day this evening, so I'm just enjoying it, and yeah, it's great. I love this time of year, and I love a rainy day, so
yeah,
good times.
I mean, I think that kind of brings up a question. I don't know if I asked you before, and I think you might be one of the people who I'm like, I don't know about you. I don't mean that like in a terrible way, but because I don't like cloudy days, because it's just so in the middle of the road. It's not sunny, it's not raining or snowing, and just the cloudy is just meh. Like, do something and don't just be boring, because that's what it is. Cloudy days to me are boring and they're very blah. So how do you feel about cloudy days? Are you that way? Am I confusing with someone else?
I am not quite that way. I prefer it either be sunny or rainy, but like I'm in the summertime, I like when it's cloudy because it makes it cooler and it doesn't really affect my mood or anything. But I don't know. I don't have that strong of an opinion about it, I don't
Okay.
think. Like it doesn't make me, unless it's just nothing but that for like weeks and weeks, then yeah. But if it's
Yeah.
just a day or two, I'm not like tripping about it. I just, would rather it rain if it's going to be cloudy.
Right. I do. I understand. And I think I might be thinking of my wife. I think she's the one who doesn't mind or likes cloudy days. I don't mean like she's looking forward, like, oh, it's cloudy outside, I'm so happy. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's just either be sunshine or be rainy. Partly cloudy is fine because at least I got some blue sky and some sun. And
Right.
I do agree. It's cooler in the summer if it's a nice cloudy day for a day, not for
Yeah.
weeks. What still boggles my mind is the time when Canada was on fire and we had those. I don't know what we'll call them, clouds. They're just the smoke.
Yeah.
That was just eerie. But I liked.
That is
Oh,
weird.
okay. I
That's a
got a
weird
little too
time.
excited. Yeah, I got a little too excited and almost said that I liked when that happened. But I don't. It wasn't a good thing, but
Yeah.
it was interesting.
It was different than just a normal cloudy day with normal boring clouds with nothing happening.
Hmm.
It gave you a little something else, a little razzle dazzle, if you will.
Right. Even though that's literally what was happening wherever the
Yeah.
smoke was originating. And
Right.
there's conspiracies all about that, which, I mean, we're not that kind of podcast to dive into such things, but I'm curious to hear what other people have to say, what they really think was happening. I mean, I really didn't think anything beyond of like, oh, well, forest fires, they happen. It's just the current air, wind, or whatever. Weather nerds, you guys
hmm
know. Yeah.
hmm
So, yeah. But Kortney, Samantha, Hinton, Allen, I have an
Yes.
issue that I just need to. Actually, I've got a bunch of issues, but the main one, the most pertinent one, just before I stepped into my little booth here, is Okay, this is another thing that I know we have an opinion on. And I remember this because back when Twitter was still fun and I talked about this, you and I can't remember who the other person was at the time, but like you both were against me and my opinion that
Hmm.
ladybugs are terrible because
Yes.
one
Still against
ladybug,
that, by the way.
one ladybug is fine. Just, walking around doing his thing, looking like a lady, whatever. That's fine.
Yeah.
Once they start to become more, that is a problem. Like more than one.
Do
mm, mm.
do they often become more a lot? Like, okay, that was not worded correctly. How often do you see like a swarm of ladybugs though?
For the last couple days.
What?
Yes.
What's going on in where you are?
So in my new home, which I love,
Hmm.
I'm so thankful and grateful to be here.
Hmm.
Thanks, Cam, in case you're listening. But by the front door, there's been, we'll say a swarm, a good pack of like 20, if not more. And they like to huddle together. Like they're just like,
That's a lot.
yeah, they're bunched together. They're maybe walking
Ooh.
around slightly. And just in case some of you have maybe forgot, but they do fly because they'll just kind
Yeah,
of open up their wings and just look like some,
just
you know,
go.
tiny hell beast and then just like, meow, into the wall or something because they are terrible
Hmm.
flyers, apparently.
Hmm.
And I was reminded of this when I went to go get my mail the other day because I opened like the little mail lid and all of a sudden a bunch of them just flew out, not of the mailbox, but I think they were on top. But I'm like, oh
Oh,
no,
and you
no,
spooked
no, no,
them.
no. I may have spooked them or they're just like, hey, we were resting here. I'm like, but my mail, I need it. And I was
Uh-huh.
not happy. I was not pleased. I looked at the
Mm.
door and they were crawling around on the inside of the door.
Okay, yeah.
So it
Now
wasn't
you're, yeah.
right,
Now you're
right.
starting to get into I don't like this territory.
It gets worse though.
Absolutely.
It gets worse
Oh
because
no.
as I enter the home, and because I still got to go to flight of stairs to my actual unit, but
Hmm.
they're all in the door. Some of them are
Ugh.
packed together in little corners.
Oh
So I'm like,
no.
oh dear. So I get upstairs to my door. Some of them are camped out there too. I'm like, why are you here? You're not supposed to, why?
It
Why?
just doesn't seem
No.
the season for ladybugs. I don't know when their season is, but I would think like spring or
I
fall,
think it's
maybe.
I think it's now,
Well,
and
it's fall, so
I'm afraid that they're mating. Maybe that's why they're all clumped together.
ah,
I
ew.
don't know. I'm not sure. So they're there. They're also inside. I've
Like
before
of
we
your
began,
house?
and yes, inside my house. And I can give
Oh,
you a running count. And before we started recording, there were six, at least six in my bedroom alone.
no
I
way.
I killed three, possibly because sometimes if you try to stab them on the ceiling using a shoe because you can't reach the ceiling, by yourself,
Sure.
so
Yeah.
you might accidentally kind of kill it or at least knock it off the ceiling, but it may not be dead. So I don't know if it's
Ooh.
dead
You can't
or
even
it
do the
fell.
job right.
I mean, I tried my best, and there was one I knew I wasn't going to even attempt because it was like right over my bed. And like, I don't
Mm-mm.
need this in my bed. I don't
Mm-mm.
want to find it
Mm-mm.
late at night, thinking it's a
Mm-mm.
crumb.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
And yeah, no, no. So, like I said, six in my bedroom, about eight in the living room. That's technically where I am now. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm remembering they're attracted to light. So with that said, I probably should
Uh,
turn out the light that's right about outside my door. Or
mm.
I leave it on and then I can crush them all at once. Hmm, just an idea. I, I had told Ashley because what was it, a couple days ago? There's only maybe two in our room a couple days
Mm-hmm.
ago. So I know the number is growing. I killed those two and I told her I'm going to leave them on the wall because
For their buddies
I
to see. Mm-hmm.
exactly you get me,
Mm-hmm.
you understand.
Mm-hmm.
She
Mm-hmm.
said no. So
Oh, okay.
I cleaned them off the wall and like, well, now
Yeah.
the other ladybugs aren't going to know. They're going to
They're
think
not
like,
gonna
oh,
know that they're gonna think it's a safe space, aren't they? Because they
right.
don't see any dead ladybugs.
Right. It's free reign here. Like, oh, we can just party here. Like, Jill and Samantha were here. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say your name. It's just, top of my head right now. But Jill and Samantha, they were here. So, we can come by too, because apparently there must be food because they're not here anymore. So I don't know. Meanwhile, the bathroom has at least three that I found. The kitchen, hard to say. There was one on a chair right next to Ashley at the time because was setting up again for the pod, and then I heard her yelling from across the home. And she's like, "Babe,
Mm-hmm.
babe," because it was distance. And then I came over, and it was like crawling on the
Mm-hmm.
chair next to her.
Mm-mm,
And I
mm-mm,
told her, I was like, at some point, I'm just not going to try to find some kind of thing to kill it with, and I'm just going to like start cavemanning it. Now, to explain what cavemanning is, you have to have watched the show Moving, which is a
mm-hmm.
Korean um, superhero drama on Hulu, which
Mm-hmm.
I highly recommend. Like,
Mm-hmm.
Kortney, seriously, you got to watch the
Mm-hmm.
show.
Gotcha.
You would, you would. I mean, seriously, you would love it. I think so. I really do. But I'm not really spoiling anything. But there's a character who is in a cave, and he's got like this super power to smash things. Well, okay, maybe not
Mm-hmm.
smash things, but like his hands are lethal weapons where he can smack the ground and like break it, or he'll clap his hands and a whole gust of wind will come from it because of the sound in the air. So he had been locked away in a cave because that's kind of how he grew up. So he kept killing all these bugs because he felt they were crawling all over him. And every time he smashed it against the rock, he would leave a handprint. So I'm like, yep, I'm gonna have to start cavemanning these things because I'm too tired to go try to find some kind of shoe or tissue or whatever to come, crunch these little beetles because I don't have time. I just want them dead. I want them
Nobody,
gone.
yeah. Nobody has time for that, honestly.
No, no, not until I'm gonna do this later after we finish recording for the day. I'm going to make a repellent out of peppermint oil
Yes.
and I believe also some vinegar, like white vinegar. There's a few dozen recipes out there for this kind of
Mm-hmm.
repellent, so I'm gonna see
Mm-hmm.
what works. So that's the next move because I don't want to smack the ceiling all night long. Um, sounds
Yeah.
like a sounds like a terrible disco song, but like I don't have time. I want to go to bed. I want to go to sleep peacefully without and I told my parents about this too, and my dad, full of jokes, ha ha ha, told me that they're just looking for Mr. Bug. So I'm like, you're full of them.
Wow.
I mean, he is a dad, so dad jokes should
That
be,
was, I was about to say that's a good dad joke, but it's
mm,
not good in the moment, is it? To be
yeah,
on
I
the
was like,
receiving end.
no, no, like very, very funny. I'm beside myself.
You're hilarious, Dad.
I need to go wipe away a tear right now. So that is my current dilemma. Um, I do have another one, another bone to pick, if you will, if you would it indulge me. So, the child. I'm saying child just to kind of protect the guilty, I suppose. Um, I had some suspicions, and this morning it proved to be true because of an experiment that I did last night. Now,
Okay.
my suspicion is that the child had been using my toothbrush, which is an electric
Oh
toothbrush.
no. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so it's got like one of these little special caps you put on it to keep everything safe, and you got to put it on just
Yeah.
right because if you don't, you squish all the bristles. Now, where I kept it, like we all kind of kept our toothbrushes, teeth brushes.
Toothbrushes.
No, teeth brushes.
Tooth
We keep all our
toothbrushes. Say it right.
teeth brushes together.
Oh my God.
And I was well, except for him, he keeps his in the closet because he's got his own little dental basket, if you will, because he's got his own toothpaste, his mouthwash,
Hmm.
and his toothbrush. So I think because mine is electric and does all the vibrating and all the cool stuff, uh, maybe he got curious. And I wasn't sure if it was like, did I put the cap on wrong? I don't know. So what I did was last night, I decided
Hmm.
like, let me put this somewhere different. I'm going to put it in the medicine cabinet because my toothbrush is normally never there. To put it
Hmm.
there, the cap is on correctly. This morning, I go in to retrieve my toothbrush. The cap
Hmm.
is on incorrectly.
Hmm.
So I'm like,
So is he
okay.
using it or is he just playing with it?
I don't. I don't even know. I don't want to. I think he might be using it because there's been other instances where I thought maybe he was like, was it me? Like I just didn't wash the brush off because, sometimes you you're brushing your teeth and the foam just kind of goes down the brush itself or down the
Yeah,
handle. Yeah.
yeah.
So it that residue is still there. Like you can let it dry and then you'll come back and like, ooh, I forgot to wash this off. That's happened at least twice. And I'm thinking
Oh
like I
no.
normally kind of clean this off. Like I mean, I'm not even really that messy where I would have the residue there. So I had cleaned it off, made sure it was clean, and I'll place it like where I usually leave it in such a way that I'll know that it
Mm-hmm.
was tampered with.
Yeah.
But I don't know. So that's why I did the experiment. And of course,
Uh-huh.
there was some residue also, as well as
Uh-huh. Oh
the
no.
yeah. So I'm like, I can't do this because I thought like if I just let this run under hot water for a good 30 minutes, maybe it'll be better. But I couldn't do that either. So I'm in the market to find some replacement brushes.
I mean, have you talked to him about it?
I
And
did. I did. I went to Ashley first and I'm like, he's been using my toothbrush.
yeah.
And she was like, well, go talk to him about it. I'm like, fine. So it was the morning. He was supposed to be getting it up anyway. So I'm like, do not use anyone's toothbrush except your own. Don't. It's gross. Don't use anyone
Well,
else's toothbrush.
did you start out like that, or did you ask him, "Hey,
Nope.
have you been
Nope.
using?"
I didn't ask him because I knew it was him.
Ah,
And that was actually something that I learned reading something else where it's like, don't even like if you know that they did it, it's without a shadow of a doubt. Like don't
yeah,
even ask them. Don't just go in there and assume. And he didn't deny it. I mean,
yeah.
granted, I needed him to actually get out of bed and get up, but I needed him to know right then and there. I'm like, hey, I'm not even going to ask you if you did it because I know you did. I'm not going to give you the chance to deny it. Don't
Mm-hmm.
do this. And then I stood there and I don't know what came over me. I think it was like like the ancestors of other like parental units just coming over me. And like you
Mm-hmm.
give them that hard stare and let them know
Mm-hmm.
you mean business. And I stood
It,
there
yeah.
in silence for a good like what felt like a good 2 minutes, like eye to eye. And then I walked away.
Do you think the message hit home?
I'm hoping so. I really do. Like if I need to come back and remind him like tonight,
Mm-hmm.
just to refresh,
He might need a
then
reminder.
yeah, because I got to go spend, I think what it might be like $10 to get some new brush heads now, where I'm not even ready to do that yet. I don't think my toothbrush came with replacements yet.
Ah,
You're making me
yeah.
spend money.
Well, at least the brush heads are replaceable because some electric brushes don't like the head can't come off. Like you have to replace the whole brush.
Hmm.
So at least it's replaceable. It's not super expensive. I understand the frustration though, for sure. And
I'm
that
worried.
means, huh?
I said I am worried though,
Why?
because I was trying to look up the brush that I bought and then the replacements
Mm-hmm.
for them, and I'm thinking that might be discontinued. Like I don't think they make my brush anymore.
Oh, oh no.
Like they have
Oh,
replacements, but I don't know if they'll fit my brush. Like
oh,
my
your
yes.
specific model.
Right. So I'm afraid.
Ugh. Oh no. I hope that's not the
Uh,
case.
I hope not either, because then I'll have to spend like another however much I spent to get this one. I mean, it wasn't a lot, but it's the principle.
Yeah,
The
it's the
principle.
principle. Yeah, I'm with you on that one. That blows. Sorry.
Mm. The violation, though, like, do you know how many times I've since used it now, knowing that he has used it multiple times?
I know that's the part that would get me the most is you have shared a toothbrush for God only knows how long.
Right. And you also have children, and you know that for
They're
whatever
gross.
reason, yeah,
They're just
first of all,
gross.
they are gross, yes.
Yeah.
But there are times that they will have the oddest, strangest, stinkiest smelling breath. Like,
Mm.
did you just eat a battery? Like, where did this come from?
Not a battery.
It there was one
Uh,
time it just like reeked of like metallic like grossness. I can't even describe it. I'm like, please go away. Like, go brush your teeth immediately. I know we're in the car, but you need to do something.
Figure it out. Figure it
Like,
out.
I don't want you to not talk to me, but like
Mhm. But
talk
maybe stand across the room from me. That would
yes.
be great. Go over there. I love you. Go over there.
I felt like like the hairs on my face were singeing because of just
Yeah, there's a
but you
couple of times where it's like you clearly just maybe tasted the toothbrush. That's all you did. There's
mm,
no friction happening on your toothbrush at all.
maybe you forgot the toothpaste, you just brushed with
Yeah,
water,
you
you're
just
just
brush with
moving plaque
water.
around. Yeah, and just I don't know. It was but now I'm just thinking of all the stuff that was in his mouth and maybe that's why I got sick because
Yeah, that because was he not sick
yeah,
shortly before you? Yeah.
yeah, he had
Uh-huh.
like a whole cough thing going on and I
That's
tried
gotta
to
be
make
it.
sure I kept my distance. Like, I'll still give you hugs, but I
Which
hold my breath. So
yeah, yeah. That didn't work though.
mm.
Y'all were sharing a brush, so I'm sorry it's not funny, but
Well,
it's
at least
something.
with me, my immune system is a lot stronger and I can bounce back a lot faster. But
Yeah.
the fact that I could have bypassed having that cough, that throat issue altogether, if you hadn't been using my
Yeah.
stinking brush.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I mean, that's a good
Yeah.
point, though, to bring up with him because this is how you transfer germs. It's also
hmm
gross. Um,
Also, you have
did
your own brush. I mean, maybe he wants an electric brush. Does he have one?
he doesn't have one, but that was something that was discussed. I'm not sure if by him and Ashley, but Ashley did tell me today that like he's going to be getting his own like electric toothbrush, but for Christmas. So I'm like, well, that's all good.
Yeah.
Just don't use mine in the meantime. So,
I wouldn't get it now because it's almost like rewarding the bad behavior or
mm,
undesirable behavior. But yeah,
right,
maybe
right.
one for Christmas would be good. I
Yeah, because
think
I
that's a
didn't
good
know
idea.
what else needed to happen in that moment this morning.
hmm
But I think just a follow up reminder and the
hmm
reasons why, because A, it's gross, B, germs,
hmm
and C, it's gross. Like,
hmm
and D, it's not yours. Like this, it's just not
It's
something you
yes,
share.
that's the biggest thing to me. It's not yours. You did not ask permission. You just decided to do this on your own. And that's a
Hmm.
lesson to be learned. Like, please, this is why you don't do stuff like this.
Hmm. And he's quick to assume too. Like he's like, you're gonna say no, and like, well, if you're asking to use my toothbrush, then yes, the answer is no because no.
Yeah, we don't share toothbrushes. It reminds me of that one episode of The Office, like late The Office, like season 9, their last season,
Hmm.
where Erin is she had moved like to Florida just kind of on a whim and didn't take anything with her. And so when Andy, this is kind of a bit of a spoiler. So if you're currently watching The Office, you might want to
For the first
skip
time after
for
it's been out for like 10 years
I
now.
know. I mean, hey, some people are like that, but
You're right. You're right. Go
when
on. Go on.
when Andy goes to get her, she goes with him and he's like, okay, well, let's go back and get your stuff. Like, go back to the house that you're staying in and get your stuff. She's like, that's fine. I don't have any stuff. He's like, you don't have any stuff? She's like, nah, I just kind of came here with nothing. And he's like, well, what about like your toothbrush? She's like, I don't have one. He said, what do
Mm.
you mean you don't have one? She says, I don't know. There's just always one just kind of lying around.
Oh my God.
So yeah, a real life office moment right here.
Oh, well, fortunately
So
for him,
you're in good company.
am I though? Well, okay, you're saying I'm like in
Sure.
Andy's company, I guess.
Andy's come. Well, the other people that was unknowingly sharing their toothbrush with a grown woman.
Um,
Yes.
oh man, because I mean he's gone through a
Yeah.
number of teeth brushes, and I'm just like, oh, just to think like all these years, like I don't know how many times he's been doing this ever since
hmm
I think he discovered. Because the thing I've been really concerned about was him finding my razor, not razor, but like to my trimmer to shave my face
mm
because he was
hmm
very curious about that one day.
hmm
And he's like, where do you keep that? I'm like, don't worry about it. Because like
It's very busy.
I already see the wheels
Turning.
turning in your head.
Uh-huh.
Yep. I
I
don't need to
swear
come. No.
your kin is my Riley. Just
Hmm.
very curious, very like always into something, very much loves it, especially if it's not hers. Just so similar.
Mm.
Hmm.
It's frightening because we've
Mm-hmm.
swapped stories and like, oh wow, that is Ken, and then same thing with you. It's like,
Hmm.
wow, that is Riley. Like,
Hmm.
yeah, worst thing we could do is have them, meet and team up
Team
because
up. Oh my God, never. Well, they can team. They can meet just 100% supervised.
right. But the other thing that they fail to understand is that we've been where they are. Like we are smarter than them. It's just,
Only by a little bit. Sometimes it feels like, but
mm,
yes, we are smarter than them. I think.
I'll say that we are. Just I'm giving you some credit because I mean,
Okay, thank you.
you're on top of things.
Am I?
You try. I mean, not even try. I take that back. You do the best you can. You get like mommy points, like beyond that comprehension, just for caring for these. Uh, I guess they're
Hellions?
still technically parasites. I was trying to find a
No,
word.
well,
Well, because
parasite.
the
I
one
think more of a
that's cooking
parasite
right
that's like,
now.
yeah, the one that's cooking is definitely a parasite, but like the other ones, they're more like leeches. They're leeches because they're outside of the body.
Okay. Well, I mean, I feel they're still parasitic because they're still mooching off of you.
Yeah, but so does a leech on the outside of your body, and they are hard
Mm,
to get off of you. Like you can't like. I mean, I
mm,
guess well, I'm thinking of a tick. I think leeches, you just pull them off. But
uh,
whatever. We're getting in the weeds now.
it is true. I mean, now I'm starting to think of them as ticks because that's also like so irritating. Get off of me.
We're
Stop dra
so terrible.
stop draining my life force. I love you, but get off
We
of me. Well, yeah.
we might need to cut this part out of the episode.
But no, we love our children. We truly do. It's just
Yeah,
uh,
they're they're
just
they're definitely giving us a run for our money.
and then before you know it, they're gonna get to the age where they literally run us for our money, like, yo,
Uh,
dad, $20. And then they're off. It's like,
uh,
but hey, at least I have a free night now.
exactly. There you go. Look on the
Hmm.
bright side.
I paid you to go away for, a couple
Hmm.
hours. Just come back home
Yeah,
safely.
worth it.
Hmm. Worth it. So there is that. Um, all because of, the toothbrush. Just had to get that off my chest. I feel a little bit better,
Mm,
except for the fact I still need
mm.
to replace my toothbrush. And but yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there.
I will say you probably could boil it and well, but is the brush head the electric part or does it have like
No,
electric? So you could
I
probably
think that's a good idea. Yeah,
just
because
boil
I
it, like
was.
look up how long you would need to boil it.
Mhm.
Definitely replace it, but I'm pretty sure if you boil it for a certain amount of time, it does sterilize it and kills everything.
Okay, that's a good idea because I
If you
was.
want to double do it, you could boil it and then like soak it in either peroxide or mouthwash.
See, this is why you get the mommy points because I wasn't even
Hey,
thinking. I'm like,
I be knowing stuff. I mean, if you still
peroxide.
feel more comfortable like throwing it out, then yeah, do for sure. But in the meantime, since you're already home,
Hmm.
you know, you could
I mean,
this would be like a good alternative for the time being.
I will have to replace them anyway at some point because that's
Yeah,
that's the that's the point.
it's
That's why
supposed to.
they make the replacements. And
Yeah,
but
it's supposed to
in the
replace them
meat,
every 3 months.
right? And it's not that time yet. It's not replacement time. I think that's why I'm so
Mm,
upset, and I don't have any more replacements because I
yeah,
wasn't ready. It wasn't in the budget. Like
no, I
that's
get
not
it.
until like what maybe February next year. So yeah.
Hmm.
So yeah. Okay. All right. Boiling peroxide. Well, not together, but I like this idea.
Hmm. Hmm.
And wrote that note down so I can do that after I make my ladybug mix. So
Yeah, you're just gonna be a little alchemist by
hey,
the end of the day.
I gotta get things done. I mean, I gotta
Yeah,
get in the place baby ready. I built a crib.
yeah.
I built well, okay. We built a crib. Ashley helped me because I actually I
Hmm.
needed like legit help putting this huge thing together. And then I had a moment because I'm like, okay, I don't think I can get out of this because I was building it from the inside and then putting up all the walls. I'm like, oh, but no, it wasn't too bad. I was overthinking it is what was happening. So
Hmm.
yeah. figured that out.
Understandable.
So crib is built, the stroller is built.
Aw,
We we're steadily still getting things in. So I thank everyone who's been sending the stuff that's needed. So we're getting along. I guess I'll have to send you a picture later because the baby's room is just about set. Like we put all the furniture where we want it to be. So yeah, we're getting there.
nice.
I mean, it's only like less than 2 weeks, but yeah, we're getting there.
I know. That's
Yeah,
exciting.
it is exciting. I break out into a minor sweat each time I think about it. It's like, oh, and then before you know, I was like, oh, that's tomorrow. So yeah,
Hmm.
but it's all good, and we're excited. Now,
Good.
switching gears completely, something that I've been, I don't want to call it an obsession, but it's something that's been bringing me joy the last few days. And I'm hoping that by sharing it with other people, especially times feel dark or just overwhelmed with what seems to be a plethora of bad news, something that has been providing escape for me is Japanese music. And
Okay.
one,
Okay.
I know weren't expecting me to go there, were you?
Not at all.
uh, well, one band in particular, and I ended up making just a playlist that is called Not English because, well, none of the songs on this playlist are in English. But the band that I found that I really kind of like is Sakon Action. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it right, but it's apparently a Japanese rock band. Japanese rock, I guess, sounds different than what we're used to as rock or alternative rock or I don't know. I don't know, but they're a lot of fun. So
Hmm.
Sakon Action. I keep wanting to call them Sakonation, but that's not what it is.
Hmm.
Spell it just in case. It's SakanAction. And this is going to be even harder for me to tell you the song to look up. And actually, no, Kortney, I actually sent this song to you, the music video. I don't know if you got a chance to check it out. This was actually a few days ago, so I don't even
I
know.
don't think I did.
It
I
was in a
don't even
group chat.
remember receiving that.
It was in a
Oh,
group
that.
text.
Oh, yes.
Y-
Yes.
yes. So now, first of all, it actually started because of someone that I follow on, I think she's on Instagram and on, oh no, she's definitely on Instagram, but she might be on TikTok as well. I'm pretty sure she is. But she was pretty much just copying a scene out of this music video where she's just doing this dance with like her shoulders. And I'm like, okay, that's pretty cool. But what is this song? Tell me more about this song because I'm think I'm feeling it. And
Hmm.
sure enough, it it I don't even want to say it's a bop because I feel like it's more than that. It's like an
Hmm.
entire vibe. It's a groove. It just gets you just in a really pleasant kind of mood. And then you watch the video, and the video is like super cheesy and corny, but also
Hmm.
very cool.
Perfect. Yeah.
Yes, because it's got like a late 80s vibe to it. Like it looks like it's filmed
Hmm.
on not even film, it looks like it's videotaped. And
Wow.
the styles are like not quite out of date, but still fashionable. And there's a giant green screen behind them, and it's just
Hmm.
and everybody's dancing, and it's just so much fun. And I'm like, I like this. I need to hear more of what you guys do. And I heard a few more songs, couldn't tell you the name of it because it's in
Hmm.
Japanese.
Hmm.
And it's not even translated in English. Like it's written in Japanese characters. So I couldn't
Oh,
tell you if I
wow.
wanted to. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's why I think when I sent you the video, I didn't even really say much about it other than the fact that like this is my current obsession right now. But because it
Hmm.
truly was, it just brought me so much like joy and just like I like this world. I want to stay here right now, and I kind of did for like a good couple hours, just keep listening
Yeah.
to a few of their songs on repeat. Um, Another recommendation from the same band is a song called Shock. Like that's
Okay.
actually the name is called Shock, and they actually say it a few times. So I'm like, a little bit of English, but that's it. But
Yeah.
it's still very fun, and I thoroughly enjoy it.
Nice. Good. I love a good bit of escapism and something that takes you out of your head if that's what you need, or takes you to a different place, even. Like, I love that. I'm glad you found
Mhm.
it.
Yeah, me too. Because I'm sure you are with me at times where you're just you're looking for music. You just need something to scratch an itch, but you don't really know what you're looking for until you find it. And then when you do, you're like, yes,
Oh, this
this
is
is it.
it. Yep.
Hmm.
Yep.
Like I'm still excited for you that time that you I don't want to say you discovered Fallout Boy, but just how you happened upon it and then you're just like very excited.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Is
I
it?
don't even remember that.
Oh, I do. I remember
Glad
when
you
you had
do.
well, I because it just seemed like it came out of the blue when you texted me about it that one day
Yeah.
and how excited you were and like, wow, okay, I didn't know you first. Let me try to break it down how it was. I think I first didn't know that you didn't know who they were,
Mm-hmm.
or I don't know. It's weird to kind of describe, but if anything, I was just happy that you found it
Yeah.
because I'm not one of those people who are like, oh, I knew them back when they, were just a tiny band in Chicago. I did not.
Mm-hmm.
I actually probably discovered them um just before like the album before they went on hiatus.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So even then,
Yeah.
like I'm just happy other people find them and like, hey, what's your favorite like song or era or whatever? Because I I was able to actually kind of go through their back catalog and kind of trace how they evolved as a band. And I like doing that with a lot of artists though. It's just I
Bands
like
do, if not all.
it. Right, right. I like to see that trail of creativity and how they progress, how they change. Um, that being said, and I think even maybe Fallout Boy might be one of those examples where it's like I wonder if they spent some time in Japan because I'm not sure if this band Sakonaction sounds like
Mm-hmm.
Fallout Boy or Fallout Boy sounds like them
Oh,
because
okay.
I got like little pieces of like rock or also is it little pieces of this Japanese rock or whatever. I don't know. There's because I was trying to think like who do they remind me of and a little bit was Fallout Boy a little bit like
Mm-hmm.
now Fallout Boy, not like
Yeah.
uh yeah, since they've been around for almost what almost want to say like 20 years, 15. They've been around for a
It's
long time.
a long time, yeah.
Yeah. So this Japanese band sounds like current Fallout Boy, if that helps.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully it doesn't turn on anybody off because I'm pretty sure people are like, oh, I don't like them now, but yeah, what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
So
Everybody's a critic sometimes. You can't please everybody.
this is true. This is true. And I'm just trying to be better at my criticisms or even things I'm talking about to be a little bit more coherent because I felt like I was all over the place trying to talk about Hosier the other day because I mean I was just still wrapped up in his lyricism and how much I love his not just his wordplay because I don't think he doesn't really do wordplay, but it's his
Mm-hmm.
imagery, the way he paints pictures. It's just
Mm-hmm.
brilliant. I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah. Now, are there any artists like that for you? Because I feel like there are, but I'm just not remembering who they are.
Well, now that you put me on the spot, I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know. I'm sure
Well,
there
because
are some.
I know with you, you're more you like compositions or people who no, not even people, but just movie scores. I know are your thing.
Yeah.
Um, but I've never
Yeah.
known any artists from you other than like Maxwell. But
Um, yeah, but I haven't listened to him in a long time. I mean, my experience is super um like music, excuse me, is the cinematic stuff. Excuse
hmm,
me.
it's fine. I'm just
Yeah,
having it too.
get all choked up just talking about it. But I love a music score, and I've always said that like a, a movie score, um, is kind of like a character in the movie. They help to tell the story, and they're kind of well most times in the ground, and they are just as important as what you see on the screen. So I
Hmm.
love a good movie score. My favorite composer would be hands down Zimmer because I just love the way he expresses like stories and the way that he uses instruments and he's a modern day genius, I would say.
Yeah, I would agree. Um, I don't know if you, oops, see, I'm having throat issues too. I don't know if you saw there was a breakdown or maybe a deep dive. It might have been for an Inception, but it's definitely about Inception and
Hmm.
how Hans Zimmer was kind of oh my goodness, now I'm gonna butcher the whole thing, but how every character represented something in the filmmaking process. And
Hmm.
Mal, who was the definitely the antagonist of Leo's character Cobb,
Hmm.
Mal represented the composer.
Hmm.
So
Interesting. Oh yeah, I've heard about that
yeah,
as
so that
well. Yeah.
and I found that to be interesting. I mean, I never actually made a I'm not a filmmaker. I don't pay enough attention to composers or the scores to know that that could be a problem, I guess, for a filmmaker, unless it's something that's very personal for Christopher Nolan. So I don't know, but I might have to revisit that video if I can find it because I found that to be very interesting and how he had
Hmm.
parallels. All those characters represented something in the filmmaking process, and yeah. So but yeah, Hans Zimmer, he's definitely up there because he's a name that I recognize for sure. John Williams being another famous popular one, and
Hmm.
I think not. I don't even think, but Trent Reznor being another name that really comes to mind as one of those current ones who seems to be in demand for a lot of movies for very interesting scores. So yeah, and there's some good ones out there for sure. And it's because of
Yeah.
people like you that help kind of put me onto it and take note. So that's definitely a good thing. So I guess you don't have a song per not song, but an artist, but you do because you have a
I
composer. So
don't.
they're they're
Yeah.
they're they're artists.
Yeah. Yeah, they are. They're, I think, like I said, I believe he's a genius. So I don't know. I
Mm-hmm.
just, he's my person of choice.
Mm, very well. I'll allow it. I'll allow it. Now it is Spookum season. We don't really have anything this year or this season for like storytelling, spooky wise, spooks. Okay, yep, that's what it's called now.
Wow. Wow. Spooks.
Yes, I am out of water, so you're just gonna get whatever gobbledygook comes out.
That's fair.
Have you been watching anything or listening to anything that kind of falls within the realm of Spookum season?
So it's funny because no, like I normally, so remember here we have this thing called one of the radio stations does Thriller Thursdays for every Thursday in October. So it's happened that I have missed all but one. And I think they actually started it a week early this year. Like the first one was in September for some reason. I don't know why, but I have only listened to one Thriller Thursday. I used to look forward to, well, I still do look forward to it, but for some reason this year, it just has not really been in the cards for me to listen to it. I don't know. But I did find another podcast that does kind of what the Thriller Thursday is. So Thriller Thursday is when listeners will send in their personal stories of um, just creepy things, ghost stories, weird stuff, you know. And it's all based on the honor system, so nobody nobody checks it or whatever verifies, but they make for really good stories, and so um, it's really cool. It's cool listening to it because it's from I don't know that it's just for local folks, but most of the stories are local because it's a local station, and so to hear about some of these places that I know of well, like some of these locations and cities and things that I know of well, is just really cool, and it kind of ramps up the creepy factor. This year,
Mhm.
for however, I haven't really been into it, but with this podcast that I recently found, I believe they do it all year, where they don't just you know, it's similar to the Y Files where they kind of cover a little bit of true crime, but with like a supernatural twist, but also ghost
Mm.
stories and the first episode I listened to was about like a documented alien abduction. So it kind of goes a little bit more broad than Thriller Thursday, but they are year round, and it's a very interesting. It's a similar format where they kind of give you the setup, they give you the story, and then they kind of talk about it afterwards.
Mm.
So I don't know. I've really been enjoying that, and um, trying to trying to stay in the Halloween spirit. Um, doing something.
Hmm.
So yeah,
So
that's it
that's
though.
that's that's it. Okay. Well, I mean, because we've both been very busy, so there's also that, and I'll say the only thing, because we are also both admitted weenies when it comes to scary, spooky
Yes.
things. I'm like, oop, oh, that's too much spooky. I watched the first three episodes of the Fall of the House of Usher, which we may have mentioned on this podcast before, or at least that it was
Mm-hmm.
coming, and definitely was it the first episode? No, I think it might have been the second one. It left a very strong impression on me where I'm like, I need cartoons before I go to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Because and it wasn't that it was creepy, it was just that it was just horrible.
Oh no.
But it was just because basically all of the children of this oh man, what do you even call him? This patriarch of Usher. His last name is, they're all last names are Usher, but this patriarch, all of his children die, and they die some
Oh,
horrific deaths.
yeah. Yeah.
And
I
he
knew about
is,
that, and I guess you see it. You see their deaths happen on screen.
you do see it. You also kind of see it coming. It's like it's foreshadowing, and
Yeah.
they're all. But the hook for me was that they're all based on works from Edgar Allan Poe. I mean,
Right.
the title alone,
Be
"Fall of the
good
House of
work.
Usher."
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and it's really brilliant how a lot of these episodes are just transposed, if you will, to kind of give homage or retell the story of various poems or short stories that he's written, and it's done really well, and really great acting.
Mm-hmm.
Granted, the deaths are quite visceral, if you will. I've, like I said, I've only watched the first three episodes. I ended up
Mm-hmm.
cheating and going to YouTube and watching like several breakdown videos of each episode after that.
Mm-hmm.
And even that was like, it wasn't as bad as, again, wasn't as bad as Hereditary. Right now, Hereditary is still like top tier. Like, I can't and I won't.
I was gonna say
Don't.
you've not seen it though, right?
I have not seen it, but I've
Mm-hmm.
listened to people talk about it. I don't think I've even really watched. I think just because, just from listening to someone tell the story of everything that happens makes me not even really want to watch anything, because then I'll have visuals to go along with what I
Mm-hmm.
already know. And I can't have that on my conscience. Not, no, no,
Right.
no.
No, thank you. Thank you. No.
I'm going to do the same thing like I did with the toothbrush and be like, no, and just stare at it and then walk away.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So I did that with the House of Usher. Then I was really curious about the creator of the show, the showrunner, Michael Flanagan, I believe his name is.
Mm-hmm.
And I might be messing it up, but those who know, yeah, he also did the show The Haunting of Hill House and The
Mm-hmm.
Haunting of Bly Manor and Midnight
Mm-hmm.
Mass. So all of these shows I'm definitely not going to be watching, but I'm still curious about them.
Right.
And I'm so glad there's other people out there like me. And I know this for a fact. This was I feel so validated and just seen because I was watching a new Rockstars video today,
Mm-hmm.
and one of the people that Eric Voss was talking to, she said that she would never watch, because he did a breakdown of the movie Scream,
Mm-hmm.
and she said she would never watch the movie Scream, but she would watch a breakdown of the movie Scream. So I'm like,
Yeah, yeah,
yes, that
that's
is
yes, that's valid.
right, right. So I'm like, that is totally me. I am you. We are together. Thank you.
Yep.
So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, because I still to this day have not watched the movie Scream, but I've seen enough of it to know and kind of move on. And I liked how he presented it. And yeah, good. But no, House Fall of the House of Usher was really good, very dark. It is definitely very creepy because I knew what the creator has done in the past and how he will
Hmm.
hide ghosts just in the background. And
Hmm.
that definitely happens here. The jump
Hmm.
scares are real. They have
Uh-oh.
gotten
Okay.
me quite a couple times. And I mean, like they're valid jump scares because it's not like, oh, a cat. Like, no, the ghost is in your face.
Yeah.
Like you just turn around and cut and like, oh, I'm right here. But not even saying
Yeah.
anything, just being still.
Which is even creepier.
It is very creepy because like they have like the dead eyes and then they're all mutilated from however they died. And I'm like,
Hmm.
oh, the terror. So yeah. So that being said, if you're into creepy stuff and stuff like that, then definitely check it out. It's a really good story. It's really well acted. But if you're not into creepy things, then you already know it's
Let's
not for
find
you.
something else. Yeah,
Yeah,
find something else
just
to
move on.
watch.
Yeah. Watch, what is it? Nightmare Before Christmas, because gentle, gentle. Yeah. But no, that's all I kind of did for Spookum season. And one of the newest hit things are the trunk or treats. Like my church is doing one this
Yeah.
year.
Hmm.
So
Nice.
I believe I'll probably be helping out with that. Can't be using my car, unfortunately, because even though I have a hatchback, the hatchback is broken. So we won't be
Ah,
using
yeah.
my car for that. So
Gotcha.
sad. Yeah. But I'll be around to help out anyway. And there's one I already saw, and someone had a really creative idea. I didn't stop to look at it because I was on a mission, but it looked like they used like a bunch of like inner tubes to make like an octopus thingy coming out of
Hmm.
their car. I thought it was very like, oh, that's creative. That's cool. So kudos. So everybody be safe. Look out for those apples with the razor blades in them, which I know is not true. It's
Oh
an
my
urban legend.
gosh. Right.
Everybody checking for slits in their apples, and no, you're fine.
Yeah.
But no, I don't really want to be home anyway because I don't know how Halloween works here at this new house. Plus, I don't want to open the doors and give the chance for more ladybugs to come in. So no, thank you.
Because you know that would happen. You know it.
Oh,
And
absolutely. I know it.
then it would be wild if you like some kid was dressed as a ladybug.
Hmm.
That would just attract them, and they'll be like, "Oh, we're good now. We can go ahead and come in because they're like ladybugs now." No,
No.
absolutely
Mm-mm.
not.
Keep seeing the door swing open. I mean, a lot of them are already inside anyway, so it's like, I don't know. Nope, nope, not gonna do it. But I think that'll do it for this episode of the Indoob podcast. Although we did kind of do some kind of recommendations. Was there anything that you did want to recommend I know you said something, but it was like a couple weeks ago, and I'm so sorry. I don't remember what it was to even give you a
I
hint.
don't remember either. Yeah, I don't know
Mm,
either.
yeah, because
I don't even know.
I can't even give you the vaguest of ideas of whatever that was.
Mm-mm.
But we'll move on from that because I already talked about what I would recommend. That's just looking up this band. And I mean, I feel the best I can do in regards to giving you the name of the song. I can tell you the album that it's on, so that's a start. Because the album I can say, because it's a bunch of numbers last time I checked.
Hmm. Hmm.
The album is called 834.194. And then the song itself I believe is it track one? It is track one. It is the first track on that album. So I do know the English version of the song, and I'm going to try to say it. So pray for me.
I got you. Send a prayers up.
Wasser, Wasseraranio. Wow.
Wow.
I,
You
I am
failed.
so sorry. I am so sorry. But I mean, if you saw it, and in fact, I'm going to send it to you, Courtney, so you can see it for yourself. And what I'm sending you is not the version to listen to because they did like I guess a rearrangement of I guess maybe a lot of their popular songs. I don't care for the rearrangement and it's like rearranged 2020, but
Hmm.
it's the title of the song that I'm trying to convey, and I can't say it because I don't know how to pronounce it. I don't know Japanese like that, but
Hmm.
I'm going to try it again one more time. Wasseraurenio. If when you see it, you'll understand why I'm struggling because I want you to take a stab at it too. Yes, I'm putting you on the spot.
I'm sorry, will you repeat it? Kind of blanked out a little bit.
Oh, I want you to give it a stab at trying to say it because I just sent it to you.
I just why are you like this?
Because
Also,
say it with your chest.
nope. I gotta sound it out first.
Okay.
Wasurere Nano.
See, at least
I'm
with you, it
sure
sounded
I
more. You
I'm
know
sure
what?
I
We need
butchered it though.
we need Nisha here because I'm sure she would. She's more into Japanese culture than we are. So I will contact her.
Hmm.
That being said, there was another song on here and my little non-English playlist from a band that I can actually say their name, Folder 5,
Hmm.
and the song is called Believe. And it's like it comes from One Piece, like the anime. So that's where I
Hmm.
got it from. And it's just one of those songs I won't skip the intro to because it's just so hype. Like, yes, it's almost like Pokemon, almost, but fun, more fun. Yes, more fun than Pokemon. No, that's it. That's it. That's all I got. Um, are you grateful for anything today? Just jump right into that one.
I am. Grateful for my mommy. I got to spend the day with her. She had a procedure, just nothing serious procedure, and I took her to that and got a chance to hang out with her, and we watched a movie, and she was like, "Man, we haven't watched a movie in a while," and I'm like, "I know, right? I
Oh,
miss this. We should do this more often, and just it was nice to be in her company. We had some takeout and just kind of went home and went to her home and chilled and it was just great. So
oh.
yeah, I'm grateful for my mommy.
What'd you watch?
We watched a it wasn't a Lifetime movie, but it was like a or not Lifetime, but home it wasn't a Hallmark movie, but it was Hallmark-esque. Um
Mm,
it's a movie on Netflix called something about Noel's letter. I don't know. I can't remember. But it was good. It's a love story. It was at Christmas time. It was about like healing your like relationships and your trauma with your parents and kind of making up and of course making mistakes along the way and
mm.
misunderstandings and all this kind of thing. But it was just a really good movie. It was realistic as a movie can be, and just a really good, lighthearted, just a good movie. Just a good Christmas
Okay.
movie.
And the Christmas movie at that. All right. That
Yeah.
that that does remind me that I think I would like to do our typical holiday episode. I have to invite Berto back because I've been holding on to an article of the 40 films from Hallmark about, Christmas that are currently airing now. And they made 40 new movies this year. And this was before the actor strike even happened, or the writer strike for that matter. So
Hmm.
the fact that they're able to crank all of these out in time for Christmas, I feel we need to talk about them and go through all the titles. So
Hmm.
I would say be on the lookout for that because yeah, that's something that we may need to dissect, not even discuss, but dissect. So
Hmm.
I feel like that'd be fun because that's like our annual thing. I would say I am actually grateful for this little child who, commandeered my toothbrush. He keeps me on my toes and he helps me to feel young.
Yep.
So
That's a good
uh,
way of looking at it.
I mean, and it really because one of the ways it helps me is it helps me to break things down so other people can understand what I'm trying to say. So if I have to explain it to an 8-year old, I have to use the simplest terms, and it always kind of gets me when there are people who know these big words. And like just because you know them doesn't necessarily mean you need to use them, but there's a time and a place. And
Hmm.
most times, I don't know, just go with the simplest way. So trying to explain things to him kind of does give me a different perspective on just how to explain things to people so they understand. So I am grateful for him. And he gives me purpose. Like he helps me to go to work each day in a sense. Like I need to feed this kid and to make sure that,
Yes.
he has what he
Yes.
needs, because I want him to
Hmm.
grow up to be a strong man and to
Hmm.
take care of us when we're old and feeble. I mean, well, I'm not going to be old and feeble. I'll be cantankerous, yelling at people to get off my lawn, and well, any bugs are in the house. So yeah.
Hmm.
So yeah, I'm grateful for him.
Beautiful.
Little brat. But that's been another episode of the Indoob podcast. I want to thank you so much for stopping by. Thank you for listening. Tell your friends, tell your neighbors, tell your loved ones, and remind them to wash their hands, wash their feet, wash the undersides of their dishes. Live for the folks you love and live without regrets. I've been your benevolent host, T. Sterling Watson. And remember, if the world didn't suck, we'd all fall off henceforth and forevermore. And the church says,
Amen.
Amen indeed. Thank you so much for listening to the Indoob podcast. To get more Indoob in your life, check out indoob.com, patreon.com/indoob, and of course, merch over at TeePublic. Email us your Ask Indoob questions, comments, or just say hi at indoobpod@gmail.com. Linky dinks in the descripts. Please rate, comment, follow, subscribe, and hashtag tell your friends. Until next time.